All right, let's get the show on the road. Today is August 6th, 2021. This is episode 159 of Maelstrom Radio. Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Gladys and Shitter. And welcome everyone to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Peter. With me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Quentin. Hey, bud, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. It's Friday afternoon, and that's the best time.
It is the best time. It's so good.
How are you today?
I am good because I have the next 3. I have Monday through Wednesday off next week from work, and
I'm jealous.
I'm so excited about that. And I got approved for all like my holiday time, so I'm officially off the 19th all the way through past Thanksgiving for the launch of Endwalker.
Me too.
Awesome. Perfect. It's like we lined it up. Now we can chat all day and talk about our Thanksgiving dinners.
Maybe for once you'll actually be able to do the content with me.
Yes.
And not get stuck 20 quests behind.
I blame Rob on. Twice, oddly.
As Susan says, hopefully you'll be able to use your account by then.
Ugh, yeah. Yeah, I actually have a plan for non-account stuff, but we could talk about it during what we've been up to. Because I planned it.
True.
We
have other people to introduce still.
Yeah, much cooler than us. With us from the Songbirds, Raven Ombre and Musical Miko. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Maelstrom Radio.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited because just to learn so much about what you all are doing, and how it's blowing up the Final Fantasy community. But before we get into that,
Very, very quickly.
yes. So what we've been up to this week, myself and Chili.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah, myself and Chili last Saturday hosted a panel at the fan-created, fan-run online Final Fantasy XIV convention LunarCon last weekend, and our panel was called "So You Want to Be a Final Fantasy XIV Podcaster?" And that panel is actually up and available to watch on our Maelstrom Radio YouTube page. The link will be in our show notes, and we will make sure we post it again on our Twitter. Go check it out. There's a lot of information in there about like equipment and programs and hosting, and especially like reasons to do it, and like why you would want to have your voice heard in the Final Fantasy XIV community. There's more than Twitch for content creation, so, and YouTube. So
Spoilers. The answer to should I start a podcast is yes.
Yeah.
When should I do it? Now.
Yes. Yeah. Now would be the
Summed up most. That's like half the panel there. Okay.
Yep. My Final Fantasy XIV account is still in rollback limbo. I've not. The last I called, they're like, you're a little over the halfway point, but that can mean I can get it back Monday, or I can get it back January of next year, because they won't give me an ETA. So I'm gonna tag on that. I have a plan, because I can't play Final Fantasy XIV on our Final Fantasy XIV Twitch page here. So I was thinking that in the meantime, maybe I try Final Fantasy 11. That's an MMO, and it's Final Fantasy. It's probably the worst idea I've ever had, but also probably the best idea I've ever had. I already own it.
Of course, are what? Oh God, and yes.
Yeah, I already own the whole game. Like I bought it like a couple of years ago. Yeah, Susan had no idea. So
yeah, neither did I.
It's gonna be great, so terribly great, or bad awesome, but awesome.
It will be an experience.
It truly will.
Yeah.
It truly will. I do not know if I will complete the game. All I know is that I will try until I get my account back. So we'll see what happens.
Everyone hope that the account gets back by Monday.
Yeah, let's. If that happens, then this news drop will be for naught.
That's how it goes.
Also, you have an official announcement.
I got the rest of the announcements here.
Yeah.
For our week. Yeah. So Susan really wants it to be special that we have the cat announcements, and now we have the cat segment of our podcast.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Ash is still regular, and for me, I officially adopted my kitten that has been posted in our Discord channel a few times. So I now am the owner, or the food provider rather, of Elfino.
Yeah.
So I have little Elfie now.
Yeah.
He's adorable and he is great.
It's true.
And Susan is super happy about that. At the same time, we have our regular scheduled mount farms, which of course Peter's not able to join us in yet, but luckily he has a lot of his mounts already.
Yeah.
But Susan and I now have all of our Heavensward Extreme Primal mounts. I have one more from Alexander 12. And as soon as I get that, we're done with Heavensward, and we'll be moving on to Stormblood. As well, this past week, actually yesterday, for those who are watching live, we streamed Terraria again, and we had some very interesting events happen. The Goblin Army invaded twice. We started off with the Blood Moon. No, wait. Did we start the Blood Moon last week? Yesterday? I think we started with the Blood Moon.
Yep.
Yeah, that was exciting. We killed the Queen Bee. We explored the ocean. Peter drowned. I went flying. I got a pair of wings. A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and we defeated 2 Goblin Army invasions.
We did defeat both of the Goblin Army invasions. Oh, and we got what's his face? Ted? Is his name Ted now?
Oh yeah,
Ted,
the Tavern
we got
Keeper
Ted.
from another dimension. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He tosses ale at people.
That's great. I love Ted so much. Well, and that was pretty much our week.
That was our weeks.
That was our week.
What about you?
The Songbirds, not me. You knew what I meant.
Yes. Sorry. Raven
Extremely busy
and
week. Yeah, a ton of events.
Yeah, it's been extremely busy for us. We have our pop-ups, which are usually Sundays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. We had a lot of private events booked. Tuesday, we were at a club that books us like every month, first Tuesday of the month on Behemoth.
Nice.
On Thursday, we played for Rich Campbell with the All Craft After Show.
Awesome.
Earlier today, we had another private show for 4 hours.
For
I think
4
it was.
hours. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
I have questions about this later, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we actually have a pop-up and another private show that we're gonna tie into it, and that's gonna be another estimated 4-hour stream.
That's
So
insane.
we've been busy this week. Next
Yeah.
week we don't have any formal bookings, and honestly, I'm glad.
Now for rest.
'Cause it means we can rest. Yeah. We went ham, and now it's just like potate.
Sleep. So yeah, time for sleep.
Is that like a regular occurrence for you? Or like it's really, really busy for a bit, then you get to relax for a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We do get a lot of requests, and whenever we receive one, it's like, yeah, can we integrate this into our normal stream schedule? If not, we have to stream an extra day.
That's I mean, it's good because you're getting the more exposure, but at the same time you're like, when sleep? When sleep? No more sleep? Okay, no more sleep.
What is sleep?
Sleep
That
doesn't
is
exist.
Musical's question every single day.
Yeah, especially me. I
Yeah.
like my sleep.
You
I
like to
agree.
sleep every day.
We do have some news,
Whenever.
and we'll rush through it real quick. The first of all, Maelstrom Radio Twitch channel has surpassed 500 followers. Thank you, LunarCon, for helping
did?
us. Yeah, we did. Yep, that is official.
So we have.
So we have. That is true. And we're planning a special thank you stream soon. Also, team friends of ours and Team Whisker, adjacent friends. I don't know, coworkers.
Chili's channel.
Chili and Paul's channel. Yeah. Our partners over at Team Whisker Moog Around Radio are up to the official 777 followers, which is a big deal. Yes, it is a Team Whiskers, so of course Namazu in the 777. So congrats, guys. One day we will also hit 777. I'll be happy when we hit.
But first we get 666.
Finally. Netflix is getting into gaming. On a recent investor call, the company's management said it would begin with phone-based games, experimenting in a deliberate fashion to learn about the category. Is with all the shows they cancel after 3 seasons, this is not going to bode well for the games. So, the Ultimate Final Fantasy XIV Cookbook arrives November 9th. The alternate cover is going to be solely available at GameStop. I want the alternate cover because it's got a payasa and a chef hat on it, so I'm going to go there and get that. And, of course...
Does that mean you're going to get a chef hat and you can wear the mask?
I'm sure Susan will buy
payasa.
me a chef hat so I can wear the payasa. Eye covering.
Channel point goal.
Yeah.
Peter streams the paisa mask.
Also for next Friday, so you know what we're doing here. There will be there was a ton of stuff on the Final Fantasy 14 14-hour broadcast that got lost in translation, and we're gonna go over a few of those things next Friday. But this Friday, today, it's all about the Songbirds. So, Ombre, musical.
Yes?
Welcome to Maelstrom Radio's interview.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
That
having
sounded
us.
a lot more ominous.
Didn't it? Of course, we would like to know first and foremost, how did this all come about? How did the Songbirds?
Well, hey,
Go ahead.
I don't know how many people that
Even-
are listening right now are not familiar with the Songbirds. But before then, for anyone who has never heard of the Songbirds, could you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. Well, we
What about your
are a group of traveling musicians, and we play across all data centers and all servers, except for Korea and China.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, all
And
global
we
servers.
host. Yep, and we host concerts on a weekly basis. Well, not weekly. We perform at least 3 times a week on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And we stream on Twitch, and we go for at least 4 hours.
Note the at least 4 hours. It could be longer depending on how many people show up, or how our schedules look like, or if I don't have work the next day.
Exactly.
People
Or
are
how
out
much
there,
sleep you've missed lately.
Encore.
That too. That happens a lot. Basically, yeah, like we'll like raid someone else, and it's like, oh, you guys are still here. All right, have another song or two.
Or if we get raided, then we have to stay longer.
Oh goodness!
You ever,
If we get raided, then it's like, well, I guess that's another hour.
has anybody ever like gone like Freebird? I'll pay for
Sometimes.
Freebird.
Yeah, people have done that.
Oh boy, of course.
Yeah, that's a bit of a meme.
Yeah.
We just give them some Sweet Home Alabama instead. It's a better song.
It's true. Actually,
I like that as a response.
That's true.
I respect that.
So now that we've learned who you are, can you tell us why you are? Why?
I guess that's more of a me question. Basically, how I got started in the whole music area in Final Fantasy XIV is they just released Bard Performance in the game. It was not a very well-developed system, you know? Back then, you had to drag the individual notes down to your hotbars, so you literally couldn't play any other jobs if you wanted to perform. So it wasn't great back then, but you could play some, simple tunes. But eventually they added the piano style keyboard, so I figured in as well as additional instruments, because at first we only had like the harp, the piano, and the lute. But then they added some, the flutes, the oboes, some wind instruments, and then that's when things started to get a little interesting. So at the time, I wanted to make some music videos to put on YouTube. I'm like, it would be pretty cool if I can record the individual parts of me playing songs and then combine them in like Premiere and then make a music video basically. And I had quite a bit of success doing that. I had, thousands of views on my early videos. But then Square Enix decided that they didn't really like people posting non-Final Fantasy XIV songs, even though the songs I did were all Square Enix songs. So basically, I had a whole bunch of videos copyright claimed. So I'm like, yeah, this is not sustainable. So I started looking for alternatives. So it crossed me like, if I could level multiple bards in game. If I could do that, I can just switch over to live performance because the YouTube copyright police doesn't exist in game.
It's true.
So this was in late 2018. So, as just out of curiosity, I decided to level 9 bards on, I think at the time it was our home server on Primal, which is Excalibur. Just to see if I could play with multiple bards at the same time. And the answer is kind of, but not really. Because without Ensemble Mode, there's a lot of RNG involved in performance. Like, there's no way to sync up individual performers. So, like, say, even if you get lucky and have everybody start playing a song at the correct time, if any individual performer stops playing for 3 seconds, they'll go out of sync, and there's nothing you can do about it. But over time, they gradually added, like, improved the performance system, and once they added Ensemble Mode, which is basically made for bard groups like ours, that's when things started getting interesting. But because suddenly we were able to play songs like completely in sync.
And just for the time
And that's
frame?
that's when it started to really take off. And that was back in what, 2000?
That was October 2019 is when they announced that Ensemble
Almost a
Mode was
year.
coming into patch 5.1.
Right.
So it was from then that Ensemble Mode made it a lot easier to synchronize everything and keep everything synchronized. Because before, it was just the whims of the server and how populated it was, where synchronizing, like, everything could just fall out of sync at, like, the drop of a hat. Whereas with Ensemble Mode, which is up to 8 people, because you need maximum a full party, um, everything was synchronized to the time clock of the server, and it just made it a lot easier to keep everything in sync. So then we only had to worry about getting everything initially synchronized, and then we didn't have to worry anymore.
And that being said, we did experiment with performing with more than 8 bards. I think me and another bard group teamed up, and we tried to play a song with 20 bards. It was interesting as a concept, but it doesn't really work.
It doesn't quite work with alliance parties.
It does not work with alliances.
What if you
And
did?
I think
What if you did
that
like
was
the row
One-Winged
row your
Angel.
boat? Like, you know, when like one group starts and you wait 3 beats and the next group comes in. No.
No,
All
it
right.
doesn't work. It's
Okay,
super
just
tough.
checking. All right. Well, you know, kindergarten me would have really hoped.
We do
So
have Baby
you-
Sharks, though.
Oh, okay.
You said that you were starting around like late 2018, and then Ensemble Mode was announced in late 2019. Were you still playing around with the group or with things like in that whole year, basically in between, or was it just kind of just like planning and thinking at that point?
Yes, we were still working on some of things before Ensemble Mode was implemented. However, obviously things were a lot slower back then. So the songs I made were relatively simple. I didn't use all 8 bards because the more bards you had, the more RNG is involved. So most of the
Makes
time I
sense.
just stuck around in like Golden Saucer and played some simple songs, and it would still draw a large crowd because bard bands were extremely novel back then. You could probably count the number of bands like on one hand.
I definitely remember that because I know like FanFest, which was what, late 2018. Like we knew of a few groups that were kind of doing not necessarily the ensemble piece. There might have been a couple at that point, but like a lot of it was still very, very new. But I do remember like vaguely talking about some of it.
But yeah, eventually over time, performance got extremely popular until today. There's a ton of bards bands out there, and each with their own little niche.
Just that one guy standing around in Limsa playing all the Zelda music.
Song of Storms.
Song of Storms. That's the forbidden song.
I will say, like I saw our friend Anonymous tweet out that he went and saw one of your shows, and he akined it to something that I remember seeing in Lord of the Rings Online, because Lord of the Rings Online also has bardic instruments and ensemble,
Absolutely.
and ensemble performances, and he's like, this reminds me of when I saw System of a Down play from Lord of the Rings Online, and I was like, that's great. I'm glad we're at that level now where we can start playing System of a Down songs.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings Online is like the OG game for bard bands.
I'm very happy that they implemented that here.
Yeah.
Not that I ever played Lord of the Rings Online, but I've heard a lot about like the performance stuff that they can get up to there.
Yeah, I'm just happy that they implemented it the way they did. Specifically, like, here's the tools. Here's like the base level of play where you just have a piano with 37 notes, and each, sequenced, and one key is one note. And they left it at that.
Right.
And that's beautiful, because a lot of other systems or games like Black Desert Online, they have sheet music that you can like write in, but you only have a certain number of notes, and you can only use their editor to create the songs, which you have to skill up in order to be able to put more notes in the sheet. But there's a limited number of notes, so like by the time you have like a minute and a half, that's it. You have to make another sheet and like pull up the other song for like part 2, part 3, part 4 of a song, and it just gets jarring.
Right. I did actually try playing Black Desert as well. The system is so limited that even if you max out your music skill in the game, you still can't really make a full-length song. You just run out of notes.
That's disappointing.
Right. So you have to break up a song into 2 parts.
Yeah. Like, I think it would be really cool if we had something similar where you could like macro or have like a sheet music where you have a prepared song within the existing system in Final Fantasy, but I'm not sure if they'd ever put that in.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. A lot of other games like what was that? Arcade do use those sort of systems. However, as long as they keep the manual performance in 14, I would be okay if they added like a scripting system on top of it.
Yeah, we'd want to do it. Oh, hey, we're frozen, Peter. I definitely want to add it on top because I feel like the power that they gave you with the existing system is just it's incredible to kind of do and try to figure out. I mean, it's very simple to use and just jump into, right? And
Yes.
it's simple to
Actually-
jump into, but hard to master.
Actually, I think there is some kind of like Guitar Hero system within Final Fantasy XIV for some of their prepared songs. There's only a few, but
Yes.
it's there.
Yeah, like the
So-
mini game type deal, right?
Exactly. Kind of like how I think it's that one
Yeah,
Christmas
the
event.
performance
For
assistant.
the voices.
Starlight.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think
there's a handful of songs that you can practice.
I know it is Guitar Hero, like where all the notes are like coming at you, like scrolling from the side.
hmm
Yeah.
They only
yeah.
added that in as a novelty, though. They haven't
Yeah.
added new songs to that in like forever.
Yeah, I think that was specifically to introduce the idea of how performance would work and giving some songs of varying complexities, just so that people can learn the system and they're like, oh, okay, so this is how you kind of do it.
Yeah, and like I remember when they first introduced that. What was it? 2 years ago, I think. 2019, I want to say.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, somewhere around there when they first put it in the Starlight Celebration. It was really, really fun. Like it's like a mini rhythm game inside of Final Fantasy. But anyway, like, so you mentioned earlier too that well, first of all, that you put on 4-hour or longer shows. Like, what sort of work goes into all of this to prepare this? Like 4 hours of any performance is a very intense performance, but on top of that, you have to effectively score and figure out what you're going to be doing, how it's going to all look in the end, coordinate however many people there are, practice, like what all goes into each of these shows.
Well, it's a lot of work out of game, to be honest, because
Yes.
our performance is still considered a scripted performance. Like, we can't improvise songs in real time. That's still the
That makes sense.
domain
That
of
makes it
manual
easier.
players, because it's literally impossible for a band of 8 people to play like by hand in sync.
Yep.
Simply due to the nature of how the game works.
Right. And I feel like that would be that would be incredibly impressive if you could get that many people to completely in sync perform something.
Yeah, and it's inaccurate to say that it's impossible because I do know people in Japan who do that, but it's incredibly difficult to do. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So
I would rather try to do like ultimate rating. I think that might be easier.
True.
Are you feeling like the system? I mean, I'm sure they're going to keep adding instruments, I think, over time. But is there anything you would like them to like out? You know, you can actually include instruments in this as well. But is there any like feature you would like to see them add, or anything specific instrument wise you'd like to see them add?
Well, the most requested feature, obviously, is more octaves. And second to that is probably drum kit, because the drums, the way they work right now, is super awkward. Like, the drums work like all the other instruments do. They have 37 notes. But why do they have 37 notes? We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only hit a drum so many different ways. And I think 37 is more than that.
Yes, 37 is definitely more than 2.
Get one of those
Just
crazy,
a little bit.
Just get one of those crazy 360-degree drum kits.
Oh, like Neil Peart.
Yeah, just like Neil Peart, exactly.
Yes.
I know. Canada
Break
came
down
up.
into a drum solo.
Boop, doo, like, or just do like the beginning, like, you know, Phil Collins. Boop, doo, 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 doo. No, all right.
I mean, if someone can recreate a Rush song in Final Fantasy, please.
Add
Please,
my voice to the Bard's Arsenal? Or to the Bard Arsenal? Solar Wraith. No.
Tom
Sorry, I was reading
Sawyer.
Oh, man.
We get voices into there.
Well, now we have guitar, so I'm gonna be getting power metal shows. That's.
Oh, yeah. We actually have quite a few songs that include the guitar as well.
Ooh.
We actually took a little break just before June when guitar came out. We were like, yeah, we're just not going to stream for a week. We're going to work on our stuff. And when we come back, it's like a like a showcase, I guess. Of like, yep, here's what we're working on. Boom.
Nice.
Uh,
What kind of goes into like when you decide, or like how do you decide on what you want to perform, and then when you know what you want to perform, how do you get it to the point where you can actually do it in game? Like
Well,
not
right
necessarily the
now-
technical stuff, like the planning and the.
Sure. Right now, we're actually trying to increase the number of Final Fantasy 14 songs we have because we're trying to expand into YouTube, and the only songs that they allow on YouTube are obviously the songs that appear in game.
Right.
So that is obviously a lot harder to do because we need to transcribe the songs like by ear,
Mm-hmm.
which means listening to the song and writing the notes down one at a time. And because me personally, I don't have any professional background in music. Like, sure, I used to play piano and violin when I was a teenager, but I have no professional training in music personally.
Mhm.
So I typically outsource that to somebody else so they can do the transcription. And once I get a music score back, I'll go ahead and arrange it into something that we can perform in Final Fantasy 14. And that is a extremely drawn out process that could take weeks.
Okay. So you basically you get someone to actually transcribe the music, and then you split it into a score for 8 people, and
Pretty much.
then just everyone kind of learns what they do, and then I'm assuming that you have some sort of practices in between all of your various shows and pop-ups and events.
Practice not so much because I'm a multi-boxer, so I'm the running all the accounts.
Okay.
yeah, so
So you, nope. Go ahead.
we use we have our own program that Musical has written specifically to play all these MIDIs that we receive and arrange. So we have pre-arranged music that runs through this program, which goes through to all the accounts, and we could play it in game.
Neat.
And
Yeah,
over
that's
the
pretty
course
awesome.
of this journey, I did have to pick up a lot of new skills that I had no previous proficiency in, such as obviously I didn't know how to use the music score software, so I had to learn how to do that. Needed to learn how to arrange songs. I had to learn programming in C# from scratch.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different different skills involved in what we do.
And then on top of that, now that you've got like the kind of the technical aspects and the in-game aspects, then you decided, yeah, sure, let's start streaming all of this. So you have to figure out the streaming side of things and the social media promotion and the organization and taking like custom bookings and all of that on top of that too.
Absolutely. And that's why we're a team instead of just me alone, because it's just far too much work for one person to handle.
Exactly.
We understand that.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Musical is the technical genius behind all the music, and I'm the one just streaming and promoting the heck out of us, and just like trying to get us in like a lot of different events, a lot of like bookings and different venues in game. It's a lot of work, social networking.
It is.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I having run a few different like podcasts, Twitter handles. It's a lot. It takes a lot of work to like constantly like promote and engage and grow on different services. It's not like Twitter is easy for me. I get Twitter. I don't understand Instagram, or I think I can kind of comprehend TikTok. But I also feel like I might be too old for TikTok. But then I probably should just do TikTok. And then, so you know.
Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat as well. Like, we don't understand how TikTok works either.
Yeah, Hottie Chicken would just say, just do it. So, so you said that, you're getting bookings, and of course you mentioned a little bit earlier that, you got a booking with Rich Campbell. How did that come about? How did like Rich Campbell slide into the Songbirds DMs and like, hey, come
Actually,
to...
it was one of the first days that Rich Campbell specifically. It was one of the first days that he was playing the game. I think he was around level 20 or so. We noticed he was streaming Final Fantasy on a Saturday. I just told Mu, was like, hey, we should go say hi. Like surround him at where like he would pop out of a cutscene or something, because we knew where he was in game because he was streaming. And so we went, said hi, played played some songs that are really iconic and that he absolutely loves. Because we know he plays Genshin, so we played some Genshin songs, and that really hooked him. His entourage, yeah, exactly. His entourage, Booba Campbell. We actually contacted her and got in, like, made her as a friend, because Rich Campbell, he's busy. He's got a lot of people trying to contact him. He's, going absolutely nuts with Twitch and everything else, and like, he doesn't really have time for us. His entourage, less busy. So, yeah, we talked with Booba Campbell, and she set us up with all of these different opportunities. And that culminated to last night, where it's like, hey, do you want to perform for Allcraft after show? Yes, please, sign us up.
Susan right now is taking down notes. Contact the entourage. Got it. Get in good with the entourage, and then
yeah. And another streamer, Pyromancer, I hopped in the stream, and his mods recognized us. And so I was talking with the mods and organized a meetup in game. And so, of course, the mods are saying, hey, you should come to Gridania. We've got something for you. And, Pyromancer, seeing the mods saying that, it's like, oh, okay, I better go. Oh, it's just, what the heck? What the heck?
Surprise.
The Songbirds. Yeah, surprise! So, paraphrasing here. But yeah, so that was the key lesson number one for me, was contact the entourage. The mods, the people, like the rung down, and then they'll hook you up with the main people that you really want to perform for.
Smart.
You have like an internal list of like, these are the people that we really, really, really want to one day perform for?
Honestly, it's just like whatever pops on our radar. It's just like, oh, we see this person streaming. Let's go say hi.
Obviously, Asmongold is pretty high up there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And that's through Rich Campbell, because they're on the same streaming team. And it just so happens that Asmongold was there at the Allcraft After Show in game, listening to our music. So he knows of us now, and he's heard our music. So like that's cool. Asmongold has a love-hate relationship with bards.
Mm-hmm.
Solo bards, probably, yeah. But like those are the bards that are. Sorry, just answering Susan's remark there.
Yep.
The bards in game, the ones that actively try to like push themselves on you, those are not that great.
No.
That's just invading your space.
No.
But if you are somewhere
Exactly.
and plant yourself somewhere, and the person runs by you, that's not nearly as invasive. So I guess that's tip number 2: is just set up somewhere where you think someone's going to run past, and if they run past you, that's fine. But
It's important.
just
Like if they show no interest, don't chase them.
exactly. So yeah, is trying not to be too invasive. Case in point, Summit, I think it was. We had tried setting up at the Lancers Guild on his first day, and he just ran right by. But you know what? We just performed for the people who were already there, and we just kept going, and the people there loved us. And so
you
it's
have
like,
like
all right,
sorry.
we tried.
And that sounds accurate, because if you're a streamer and if you're going live, you're probably going to push past what you see on other people's streams. Like if Summit saw what Asmongold was going through, they might have assumed like, I'm just going to run past the people playing music because I don't want to deal with that on my stream, which is regardless of who like not knowing like that's the Songbirds. Those are people playing music, and I saw what Asmongold had to deal with. I am going to run as fast as I can in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I mean, of course, his chat was like, "It's a concert! It's a concert! It's a concert!
Yeah.
Go back! It's a concert!"
Yeah,
but
on Josh Strife Hayes' Twitch chat, they were yelling at him like, "The Songbirds are trying to perform for you. Go back!" And he was just ignoring chat.
I love Josh Strife Hayes because he is me if I actually like attempted an honest YouTube channel about MMOs. But short of that, I was never a professional martial arts trainer prior to me just playing MMOs. Susan thinks he is dreaming. Well, Susan, he's also who was a professional martial arts trainer prior to playing and talking about MMOs. So he has that on me by leaps and bounds. Like his vests. Oh well. So
yeah, ultimately, it's giving the streamer a choice. Do they want to stay and listen, or can they just keep going on their way? And we just want to give them that choice. So like, hey, here's something unconventional in the game. Do you want to stay and listen to it?
Yeah, I mean that's essentially it. I mean, it's really coming down to, just putting yourself out there. Like, and if you do it enough, like if you pop up at enough times around people's streams or like while they're playing the game, eventually they're gonna stop, right? They're gonna hear a song they like and realize you're playing it, and be like, oh wait, I like that song. And they'll sit there on stream and listen to you and like, wow, they're really good. Like that's all it's gonna take is that one song that you like.
You just reminded me.
Mm-hmm.
It was Asmongold's first day. We set up at the Marauders Guild. Because he was a warrior. We set up at the Marauders Guild, and I think we actually saved this clip. He was coming out at level 10. He was running by, and then he heard sea shanty. And then he was like, wait, is that what I think this is? And then he turns back and then stands like right in the middle of the band. And he just slowly leans back and a smile just creeps over his face. Like,
sounds right.
It's moments like that just make it absolutely amazing. And then other bars try to tune in.
Yeah.
And then Asmon's like, all right, what was I doing? But it was like that moment where it's like he's like completely focused on one thing.
Clicks in.
And then people are like just like immediate 180. It's like, wait, what is this? And they come back.
So I can actually kind of relate that to on a real life story. So about a month ago, Susan and I actually went out. This is like the first time we went out for drinks in downtown Indianapolis, and like since all of the years last year and more.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I'm like, oh look, we can go to a place and have a drink. And then we were just taking a walk down the street, and there was a young lady playing the harp, and she playing it beautifully. But across the street, there was a person on a microphone singing, was not singing well, but singing nonetheless, just, doing like street art. But then we went past them, and then as we came back, they somehow combined forces. I don't know how it happened. But his singing didn't get any better, but her harp music was great. And it was just like, I felt so bad. I was like, you were doing so good on your own. So
no.
it's like, I felt like your story feels like that. Like you're doing great. And all of a sudden, like this other part's like, I can join. I can do it on the flute. So, and that's, please no.
Exactly. And like there have been times where people have tried to chime in while we're performing, and we've just had to politely say like, hey, like I know you're trying to perform with us, and we appreciate the sentiment, but it doesn't sound great. Please stop.
Yeah.
It's
You
like,
tried, but
Yeah, and 9
Please.
times out of 10 they'll stop because they would understand. But there's just that one person where it's like, no, I could perform here too, and it's like, it's gonna be like that, huh?
And
You
once in a
can,
blue
but it's not
moon,
gonna
someone
sound
can
well.
bang on a drum and it actually sounds okay.
yeah. Then they got that one person just trying to add more cowbell. And it's like, no, please stop. It's not Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, we should get that song.
Please.
before November.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll like
Have
if
some
you,
fun with that.
if
You
you
need
come,
more cowbell?
yeah, if you come to Gilgamesh, I'll come out and be like, I got a fever.
Wait, Gilgamesh, you said?
Yeah,
We are in Gilgamesh.
we are in Gilgamesh.
Okay. Our what was it? The band that we're focusing on for North America is on Genova.
Okay,
Okay.
Same data center, so
perfect,
we might be able to visit from time to time.
awesome. Just let us know where and when, and we will all show up. Our FC is made up of I call it the House of Three Voices. Well, it's our FC is called Dominant Umber, but it consists of us, Maelstrom Radio, Mooground Radio, and She Hills I Tank. Both fans and friends of. So the House of Three
That's
Voices.
fair.
Although it sounds way more ominous when you call it the House of Three Voices. It sounds like some
That's the
spooky
first time I've
stuff.
ever heard of that.
It sounds so spooky, but I like it. I'm gonna get it on shirts. You want a shirt that says House of Three Voices?
It also says Dominant to Umbra, sure.
Okay, sure.
I mean, if you're willing.
Susan's just shaking her head and mad at me now.
Yeah.
It's like we're giving them shirts now?
Yeah, sure.
I saw Susan say something in chat and saw the word fired, and I thought she was yelling at us, but then she was actually talking about getting the FC excited for a performance. I'm like, she firing us? Like, that's appropriate after
You're
that
both
comment.
fired. You're both fired.
Like, well, radio
We'll have to
and
get other shoots.
Well, like that's it. So with all your performances and all the work you're putting into this, like, what has been like the most rewarding, like, thing that's happened to you in game or out of game?
the most rewarding thing.
I would say the reactions from the crowd.
Yeah, I'd say the most rewarding thing from the glow sticks. Yeah, it's just like people saying that I've bought the game because of you guys,
That's
or especially seeing people like coming out of the inn, like booking it in one direction, and then just seeing them do a complete 180 and come back and stay. That's like that is also like the major thing for me where it's like I don't know how to put it to words, but it just feels rewarding that it's like people are willing to just do a complete 180 from what they were doing to come back and listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like knowing that some people have had a bad day, but we can like brighten up their day just a little bit through the power of music.
I mean, that too.
We had many people tell us that.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is that every time someone tells us that, I take a screenshot of it and put it in our hidden Discord of like words of praise, and just keep a running list of like all the kind words that people have said, and we use that as motivation to keep going. As like this
awesome.
is it's just a constant reminder of this is why we do this. We do this for the people. We do this because
people.
it's for the people. Insert Soviet theme here. Yes, we have that song. But yeah, no, it's just a constant reminder of people really enjoy this, and it our music brightens their day, and just knowing that, it keeps us going.
And honestly, we do need lots of motivation to keep going because the whole thing started as just a hobby.
Oh my god.
But now it just feels like a second job, if not our main jobs.
Basically, it's like I have a job that, it brings in money, the essential thing. And then it's like, all right, here's something that I actually want to work on. And it's, Songbirds social networking stuff. And it's like, how far can we take this?
Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is that this could always translate well to a real job. Like even with Square Enix, like they always look towards their community when they hire people. They look at people that like yourselves that are like, hey, you did well with growing your community and driving people towards the game and showing how well the community, like, you know, we have a community manager position open. I go ahead and apply. Like it's those things that, you start to learn, like, we're really good at this and we can even apply it to the game and maybe even, eventually apply to work for the game. So then it's just fun. Then it's just, so it's always like you can find bright sides to everything. Like you've learned the skills that are so much fun. Now you're learning it and driving people. Like I said, even just driving people towards an MMO, which is on the uptick, but even just through the power of your music, getting people to be like, I'm buying this game because of your music. That's powerful. That's really powerful. Like that's not a streamer from WoW playing Final Fantasy 14 driving sales. That is Final Fantasy 14 players playing music and showing off a small feature of the game, not raiding, not dungeons, not PvP, a smaller feature of the game, and driving people to buy the game. That's insane and amazing, and like you're getting props from me now because I find that unbelievably cool.
I'm still amazed.
Absolutely.
I'm still amazed every time someone says that, because like we're just here for like a couple hours playing music. It's like
couple being a minimum of 12 hours a week. That's not a few hours.
Yeah.
And another thing is we're strategically set up so we're very likely to encounter the newest players to the game and then show them what's possible in the game aside from, the traditional MMO aspects of, raiding, dungeons, etc. So immediately after they start the game and can actually meet other people, the first thing they run into is us.
Oh yeah, right outside Gridania, the Adventurers Guild. Yeah, we're set up right outside the door. So
And I think,
yeah, it's right there and literally can't miss us, unless there's just so many people that it doesn't render us. In which case, people are like, wait a minute, why are there so many people there? And then they just run up, and then it's like, oh,
music.
oh.
It's not like it's Limsa where there's just a billion people just chilling there anyway.
Exactly.
True.
But I think there's something to say about these types of activities within Final Fantasy specifically, but a lot of other games as well. Especially like you hear like, oh yeah, such and such group is doing this thing in the game, they're playing music. But when you actually go to it and you see and experience it in game, like it's a completely other feeling, a completely different thing. Like, so yeah, cool, you're playing music in game, but when you actually go to that event and you see people doing that, it's a whole separate feeling. Like it's different from watching it on Twitch or YouTube or anything like that. It's like it's still cool in those other places, but it's a different experience when you see it live.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really compelling thing when, especially as people are new to the game. Like you come into this game and there's a whole concert just going on as soon as you walk out the tutorial. Like, it might be one of those like,
That's true.
oh, this isn't WoW.
It's like when we interviewed Sabaku before we went to see A Stage Reborn live, right? We talked to him, and then he invited us out to a VIP showing of one of the plays. And we were stunned, like so much work, background work into it, how many moving parts, moving players, like you don't realize how much work it takes to do something like anything in game that requires like true talent. Like
and I've seen some of their plays before too.
Oh yeah,
I have no idea how they do that.
A lot of work. It's a lot.
A lot of work and a lot of practice.
Yeah.
What they do, like it's scripted, and that like you just tell people like, hey, when this happens, do this. But it's still up to the person to trigger their action at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot of practice for what they do.
Susan wanted to ask in chat, are the Songbirds just 2 people?
Yes. So when we're streaming, it's just us 2.
When you're streaming, but
musical. No.
But you
Same
here. But you do have a staff.
You have a staff.
Yeah, we have staff for certain roles off of stream.
Mm-hmm.
So we have someone doing our art. We have someone where we could
very good art, by the way.
Procure outside talent. Let me. We have someone also working on our Discord now as well. With Dinobot.
Is that a public Discord, or you're still getting it ready, or
is Dinobot?
Oh no, it's public. It's very much public.
Okay.
Is Dinobot a person or an actual bot?
It's an actual bot.
It's a bot.
It's a bot, but he has the premium version of it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually just today we brought in Dinobot. Oh yeah, our Discord is roughly 1,500 people right now, so it's still quite big.
That's pretty large. Yep.
We started April last year. Roughly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
for a year.
Yeah,
yep.
based on a snowflake. Yeah. But yeah, 1,500 people. We're always looking for more people. Bring them in, etc. One of my tasks for today and tomorrow is revamp our Discord, streamline it. It's a very
tough task, but it's very rewarding.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's like refreshing the Discord, and it's like, hey guys, new look.
We've a couple times, but our Discord is much smaller. Like we'd be lucky if we had 100 people, but we revamped it a few times. It's even with the small number that we have, it's a pretty decent undertaking.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, what's important is having an active Discord. It's not so much about size.
Yeah, we also have a problem with that, but we're working on it.
Yeah, we are working. Although I have to say, in the last couple of days, it's been getting more talkative in there. So proud of us on that. Like just hello.
The cats.
Susan says it's so hard to figure out how to organize the Discord. That is. Maybe Dinobot does that. I don't know what Dinobot does, but maybe Dinobot just does that for you.
We have a similar bot to Dinobot. We can talk later on that one. We have a similar bot.
All right. And then
I know we're getting close to time, but
yes.
I did note it. Like, you have almost 200 songs in your repertoire right now, and it sounds like you're constantly trying to add more to that. Like, do you have any like? Nope.
Make that around 280.
Okay, so your list hasn't been updated in a while then.
Oh no, our list was updated 2 days ago.
Oh.
Let me put a link.
Yeah, I see.
in
I
the
have the list.
guest-
I thought I had a.
we have our own website.
Yeah, that's what I was
where-
looking at. I thought I must have been. Oh, it's. Sorry, I was reading on your main page. It still says only 200 on it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Main page.
I did see. I see the whole list, but I didn't count each line because there's a lot of lines, and you've got a lot of good music.
I need to update that. Yeah.
There
I
we
just
go.
been updating the page. Yeah.
But yeah, so over 250 then.
Yes.
And you're constantly you add them fairly regularly, like
I try.
with this
I try
amount
my
of
best.
music.
Yeah.
Of course, I see all your Zelda music.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, the thing
musical.
about the song list though is in reality I have much more than what is listed, except I'm not shy about throwing away songs that are old or obsolete. So
That makes sense.
Or just don't sound good.
Especially as like a lot of these songs might have been created back at the very beginning when you had much more limited tools to build them. Like actually, that's an interesting. Like, have you ever gone back and decided this is a song you created originally, but it didn't quite work so well? But now that we have a whole lot more, you could do it better. Like, have you ever revamped?
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All the behind the scenes stuff that you probably wouldn't notice unless you were like directly involved all the time.
Oh, you would notice though, because a lot of times our viewers request certain songs, and then suddenly I'll just toss up a like revamped version, and they're like, "Holy crap, I haven't heard this version before." So yeah, because I just made it.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever decided to like remix a song? Like not necessarily just like because it like just I guess have you ever decided to rescore something?
Like to make a cover?
You to make a cover or just to like you decided that you didn't like how you did it, you scored it the first time and just wanted to redo it. Not necessarily like with the same tools, like not just as an upgrade, but like
because of how I edit my songs, I generally start using like a bass score or a bass MIDI that somebody else made, and then I will rearrange that. So even if I'm making a new version of the songs, perhaps using different instruments, I'm using the same source material, so it's going to sound similar regardless.
Okay.
Like, I'm personally not a musician, so I don't know how to write, a brand new remix of a song from start to finish. So that's a little out of my league. However, there are other groups that do that.
Okay. Now I guess I'm gonna keep asking stuff even though we're getting close to time. Are there any collaborations you really want to do with another person, another group, people on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, whatever?
I mean, we're willing to collaborate with anybody who wants to play with us, especially other Twitch streamers. So we're always reaching out to other streamers.
Okay.
But as far as I don't think we have anything or anyone specific in mind though, aside from Rich, which was yesterday.
It's also cool.
And even then, the collaborations are usually like show up on their stream, or like they host us, and like we perform for them, and they talk on their stream or whatever else. Because of the ensemble limit, it's really difficult to have. Actually, it's impossible to have two ensembles in the same area, just because of the way the mechanics work.
Yes, that's a good point, because some other bard bands might have a significantly larger number of characters. Like some people have like 20, 30 alts, but it's not practical to use all that many because there's a hard draw limit in game. If you bring that many characters, then the crowd can't see you anymore. So that kind of defeats the purpose of, having a band if they can't hear you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There's a funky bass line that's missing. What happened?
We get that regularly from really concentrated shows.
And that's why we stream it, because a
Yeah.
lot of players don't have high-end machines. They're running the game on potatoes, so they literally cannot see us in game. So the only way they can participate in the concert is by viewing our stream.
Which we have fairly high-end systems to be able to draw all the characters.
And run the show.
Exactly.
And stream it.
Yeah. Hopefully without interruptions or crashes or just thinking of the flashbacks.
Yeah, I get,
oh no,
get the
DirectX
feeling.
error.
Get the feeling.
Yeah.
No,
It's like, oop, DirectX error. It's like, oop, there goes Songbird 3.
Yeah, that used to not be a problem.
There goes Songbird 3 like it's an attack formation. Like it's Songbird 3's down. Songbird 3's down.
Yeah, I should have came up with more creative names for them, but it was just out of, convenience back then, because I was leveling all the characters at the same time, and it was really difficult to keep track of them. So if they had unique names, it would be even harder to find which one on which stream or which screen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
True.
at least this way we could just count them all up and be like, all right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're all good.
They're all here.
See me, I would be like drum, bass, rock, roll, rhythm, blues. Like I would be that person, but then also I'd end up losing all of them. Be like, I don't know where rhythm went.
Yeah.
Or rhythm, I'm gonna get you.
Blue Jay. Or like come up with like 8 different bird names. Like Songbird, Raven, Songbird, Blue Jay, Songbird, Crow? Something?
You see, I looked into that. A lot of bird names sound really tacky as character names.
It's true. Chili in chat.
Songbird
Seagull.
Jeff.
I have enough seagulls as it is already. I don't want to see more of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I live in a coastal city, so they're quite prevalent, especially when you have McDonald's fries.
Same for Chili. He lives in Scarborough, UK, and one of their show's mascot is Jeff the Seagull. So he's also their producer. All right. Well, we're a little past our time, but I have, unless Quentin has any other questions, I have one last question.
No, go for it.
Okay.
Raven musical. I must know.
Yes.
What is your favorite song?
Oh my god. I knew he was going to ask that.
Robert Miles' Children.
All right.
Prepared.
Yeah.
Me? Renai Circulation.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that answers all my questions.
Do I have enough time to explain why?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So Robert Miles' Children is just one of the songs that, like, it just sounds so good in the game. Just hearing the harp portions of it, like, you have to listen to it in game.
I mean,
Sorry, just lost for words.
no, I get it. Trust me.
Like trying to explain it in words, it's just better if you hear it in game.
There's certain feelings that can only be invoked through hearing it that you can't talk.
Exactly. Maybe we'll have to record it and put it on our Discord specifically as like a single.
Okay.
There you go.
Muse.
And Renai Circulation is the epitome of anime songs. It just makes me very happy to hear it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like that explanation too.
A lot shorter than mine, but it works.
Why'd you like it? Anime.
Exactly. Do you need a better reason?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
We're good here. Well, with that, Raven musical, would you like to tell the people where they can find the Songbirds?
You can find us on our Twitch, which is here. I typed in chat. You can also find us on our website, songbirdsffxiv.com. On our website has a list of all of our socials. And handy little icons that you can just click.
Yep, we have the same handle, which is Songbirds FFXIV on pretty much all platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, where else? Instagram. The only one that you need a link for is Discord.
Yeah.
Which we actually fulfill all the requirements to be partnered by Discord, but they're not accepting the applications yet because they're all on summer vacation. Which, fair. Can I put the link to our Discord in stream chat?
Yes. Susan took care of it for us. Thank you, Susan.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Which account are you posting it from?
There we go.
Songbirds.
Okay, let me permit it.
Yeah, Josh actually just did it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay,
Josh.
There we go.
He's
Thanks,
one of our
Josh.
mods. He's one of our mods.
Thank you. Our bots get a little bit click happy sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's for like
Fair enough.
bad
want-
links, which
Yeah.
is good. But
You're like,
Yeah.
you want to buy viewers? No.
Oh, no worries.
Wait. we get those links quite a bit too, but
Yeah.
the mods are quite on top of them.
mods are very
You
good.
want to be famous, but what if we're already famous?
Would be famous.
You want to be famous?
Yeah.
No, please stop.
You want to be
Yeah.
famous? Honestly, I don't have the money to pay you to make that happen.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and chatting with us tonight. I know the first two like major performance groups that I had ever heard of in Final Fantasy XIV were A Stage Reborn and Songbirds, which is funny because I then later learned about Lucky Sparrow and a bunch of other groups, but you were one of the first that I knew about a number of years ago. And yeah, it's just been really awesome to chat with you and to see you and to see how you've grown in the last few years as well.
Oh, we're glad to hear that, and thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
Again-
thank you, Quentin and Peter, for having us.
Honestly, no, thank you. Like we love doing this because we get to learn about other people. We're boring. We like learning about other people. Well, as always, for us, we will be back on stream Thursday with more Terraria. I believe we're gonna go try to kill a giant skeleton. And then
News to me.
Yep. It's pretty much where we're at in that game. We also will be back next Friday discussing again some of the Lost in Translation stuff from Final Fantasy XIV and probably any other possible Final Fantasy XIV news, but there's not much going on right now other than we're just waiting. So we'll discuss some of the stuff that was lost in translation from the 14-hour broadcast. So with that, Quentin, do you have anything else?
I do. Before that, you mentioned that you guys stream on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I believe it's around 7 p.m. Pacific
Yes.
for about 4 hours. So if you're interested in watching the Songbirds, go and check them out on Twitch or in game at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, or 3 a.m. British summertime.
Yeah.
And yeah, go check them out.
Yeah, we're working on a time on a day specifically for our European audience, just so that they're not, staying up until like 5 a.m. just to
Yep.
catch the start.
Well, you've clearly
They can wake
not-
up to you.
Chili's in chat and represents all of the UK streamers and players, saying we're always awake anyway. So they just don't sleep apparently.
It's true. It's why I have British summertime, and every single time conversion I do is just for Chile.
Just for Chile. Yep. Yeah. What is time? Anyway, Quentin, do you have anything else for tonight?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks to Raven and Musical. Thanks to my co-host Quentin, and thanks to our producer Susan Sprinkle. We know it. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Till sea swallows all. Keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is brought to you by maelstromradio.com and Blackfire Media. Produced by Flatus, Shintier, and Susan Sprinkle. Join us live Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/maelstromradio. Send email to show@maelstromradio.com, tweet us at maelstrom_radio, or join our Discord at maelstromradio.com/discord. Views and opinions expressed by our hosts and guests do not reflect the views and opinions of any companies discussed on today's show.